Hi, I'm Marc LeVasseur, and I'll be reading the role of Hastings. Well, after the disappointments of the day, welcome once more, Charles, to the comforts of a clean room and a good fire. Upon my word, very well-looking house. Antique, but creditable.
The usual fate of a large mansion. Having first ruined the master by good housekeeping, it at last comes to levy contributions as an inn.
Well, as you say, we passengers are to be taxed for all these fineries. I have often seen a good sideboard or a marble chimney-piece, though not actually put in the bill, inflame a reckoning confoundedly.
Travellers, George, must pay in all places. The only difference is that in good inns you pay dearly for luxuries. In bad inns you are fleeced and starved.
You've pretty much lived among them. In truth, I have been often surprised that you who've seen so much of the world, with your natural good sense and your many opportunities, could never yet acquire a requisite sense of assurance.
The Englishman's malady. But tell me, George, where could I have learned that assurance you talk of? My life has been chiefly spent in a college or an inn, in seclusion from that lovely part of the creation that chiefly teach men confidence. I don't know that I was ever familiarly acquainted with a single modest woman, except my mother. But among females of another class,
among them you are impudent enough of all conscience.
They are of us, you know.
But in the company of women of reputation, I never saw such an idiot, such a trembler. You look for all the world as if you wanted an opportunity of stealing out of the room.
Why, man, that's because I do want to steal out of the room. Faith, I have often formed a resolution to break the ice and rattle away at any rate, but I don't know how a single glance from a pair of fine eyes has totally overset my resolution. An impudent fellow may counterfeit modesty, but I'll be hanged if a modest man can ever counterfeit impudence.
If you could but say half the fine things to them that I've heard you lavish upon a barmaid of an inn, or even a college bedmaker.
Why, George, I can't say fine things to them. They freeze, they petrify me. They may talk of a comet or a burning mountain or some such bagatelle, but to me, a modest woman, dressed out in all her finery, is the most tremendous object of the whole creation.
Well, at this rate, man, how can you ever expect to marry?
Never. Unless, as among kings and princes, my bride were to be courted by proxy.
I pity you. But how do you intend behaving to the lady you will come down to visit at the request of your father?
As I behave to all other ladies, bow very low, answer yes or no to all her demands, but for the rest, I don't think I shall venture to look her in the face till I see my father's again.
I'm surprised that one who is so warm a friend can be so cool a lover.
To be explicit, my dear Hastings, my chief inducement down was to be instrumental in forwarding your happiness, not my own. Miss Neville loves you. The family don't know you. As my friend, you are sure of a reception, and let honour do the rest.
My dear Marlowe. But I'll suppress the emotion. Were I a wretch meanly seeking to carry off a fortune, you should be the last man in the world I would apply to for assistance. But Miss Neville's person is all I ask. And that is mine, both from her deceased father's consent and her own inclination. Bless me, I quite forgot to tell her that I intended to prepare at the bottom of the garden.
Give me joy, George. Crown me, shadow me with laurels. Well, George, after all, we modest fellows don't want for success among the women.
Some women, you mean. But what success has your honour's modesty been crowned with now that it grows so insolent upon us?
Didn't you see the tempting, brisk, lovely little thing that runs about this house with a bunch of keys to its girdle?
Well, and what then?
She's mine, you rogue, you! Such fire, such motion, such eyes, such lips. But egad, she would not let me kiss them, though.
But are you so sure, so very sure of her?
Why, man, she talked of showing me her work above stairs, and I am to improve the pattern.
But how can you, Charles, go about to rob a woman of her honour?
Pshaw! Pshaw! We all know the honour of a barmaid at an inn. I don't intend to rob her, take my word for it. There's nothing in this house I shan't honestly pay for.
I believe the girl has virtue.
And if she has, I should be the last man in the world that would attempt to corrupt it.
You have taken care, I hope, of the casket I sent you to be locked up. It is in safety?
Yes, it's safe enough. I've taken care of it. But how could you think the seat of a postcoach at an indoor place of safety? Ah, numbskull, I have taken better precautions for you than you did for yourself.
What?
I have sent it to the landlady to speak for you.
To the landlady?
The landlady.
You did?
I did. She's to be answerable for its forthcoming, you know.
Yes, she'll bring it with a witness.
Wasn't I right? I believe you'll allow that I acted prudently upon this occasion.
You must not see my uneasiness.
You seem a little disconcerted, though, methinks. Sure nothing has happened?
No, nothing. Never was in better spirits in all my life. And so you left it with the landlady, who, no doubt, very readily undertook the charge.
Rather too readily, for she not only kept the casket, but through her great precaution was going to keep the messenger too.
They're safe, however.
As a guinea in a miser's purse.
So, now all hope of fortune are at an end, and we must set off without it. Well, Charles, I'll leave you to your meditations on the pretty barmaid, and may you be as successful for yourself as you have been for me.